I've seen on video, I've heard it a number of times, and I guess I've heard it one too many times. So we're going to talk about U-turns and the fact that a few people I've spoken with have gotten rear-ended on a motorcycle while doing a U-turn. So let's break down the dynamics of it. I'm going to call this row of parking spaces the left lane, straight up here. I'm going to call this area with no spaces the right lane. And I'm going to call this area off to the left on the other side of the solid line. That's my oncoming lane that I'm going to make the U-turn into. So let's go through it and then we'll talk about it. So typically, if I'm riding solo, I'm riding in the middle of my lane. And a lot of us have a tendency that when we're going to do a U-turn, we swing a little wide. You know, we have real estate for that U-turn, right? So let's look at that again. Center of lane, I'm moving right. What does the car behind me think as I'm slowing down this way? They might be thinking that I'm pulling over, regardless of what my turn signal is saying, that tiny little dot that blinks. They're probably not even paying attention to that. They're just looking at the fact that I'm pulling off to the right. Maybe they think I have to check for directions or something. And it's everybody's nature to pass by that slowing vehicle. They have no idea that you're just going to haphazardly make a U-turn. And pay attention to my head here, because we're going to talk about that one next. Dynamic of U-turns is that people don't typically turn their head enough. We're piecing it, as we say. We're riding, you know, like line to line here, because we're not proficient at it. So when you're doing that, you know, you're relying on your peripheral vision, and it's just not enough in that situation. So now, when we get a very pronounced head turn, I can see behind me, and my peripheral vision picks up even further back. So if that turn is not safe, I'm going to pull out of it. I'm not going to do that U-turn if I think a car is coming up too fast on me. Let's do that again. So even if I pull all the way over here to give myself more real estate, my head is turned. I can see that whole lane and the next lane coming. Time, I have seen people pull way over onto the shoulder, say, and they're crawling along because they're not so sure, and then all of a sudden they just cut across traffic, and boom, they get broadsided. So the problem with that is we have no protection. Aside from cutting across a lane of traffic, yes, in theory, the vehicle coming up from behind is wrong. But the error that the rider has made is not being diligent in making sure that they are safe. We have no protection, so we have to think 2, 3, 4 steps ahead at times. We can't go about this in a lackadaisical way. Trying to come across as some instructor at the moment, just trying to open a discussion, because like I said, I've heard this a few too many times from different people. It's the same scenario, so apparently it's something that a lot of people just aren't really